dun. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our sabbatical with a bang. Well, there's also like a bang going on in the country as well. But I am not alone. And guess who's joining me today? The queen is in the building. The queen is in the building.
We are back like, but you know, back like Umkolo.
Back like Umkala, brie. Back like Umkala.
It's been a while, but listen, you won't even feel that we were not around because coming back with a lot of interesting content, yeah?
It's a lot. We said we just want 50 minutes of this show, but looking at the content that we have, usually we would leave things and like, if I pin on the next week, but guys, there's just a lot that's been happening in the country, and also just given today, like vandaag, like today, like in the courts and all other things. But anyway, let's welcome you guys to the Slyso TV podcast. It is season 2. A season that refuses to end because we've prepared such a bang and we want to get ready for the 3rd season of the podcast. It is the 18th of May. It is a Monday, 2026. It is voting year. Something we are going to talk about in its importance, Queen.
Oh, yes, definitely. We definitely must talk about voting. It is an important one, you know, as apathetic as we get about it, but very important, Slyso, that we address that one.
Yeah, I thought I've prepared quite a bit as far as it is concerned, because it is very important, and I think there's something that we miss as South Africans, given everything else that's happening in the country, the revelations, and to actually realize in the manner like this is our tax money, you know, and there's only a handful of people in South Africa that pay tax, so it's very important to actually make sure that it doesn't get wasted, it doesn't get stolen, it doesn't get all of these things, and the only other way to do that is to secure your vote. So, but it's something that we will talk about. How have you been?
Man, how have I been? Oh, very good, very, very good. You know me, Mos, I'm always high-spirited, just keeping, you know, a positive approach to life. Not always good, but I am always leaning towards the optimistic side of things. Been doing quite a lot. The good thing that I'm excited about is I am working on relaunching the brand that is
private practice,
the psychologist. Yes, so look out for something amazing, and just working with, you know, like brands that are big as well. Umhlobo has been kind of like saying, wona singathi siyakuthanda indlela explaina ngayo le ndaba ye-mental health. Khawuze man uzokuthetha nabantu bethu sive.
Who? And I don't even know this. And I don't even know this. Wow, people can be secretive, ne?
So that's
but this is great news.
It was actually, I think it was just a spur of the moment thing that happened last time when I was speaking to the producer of the breakfast show, and then I was like, Brad, busy, and I was like, no, you can't be busy. Come on, just think about it. Because you also you know, uyakwazi in with e-language, you know, too. So I was like, hey, cool. So yeah, there's that. Just exciting things in terms of just Utobega, the psychologist, and looking to, I guess, just do more impactful work and continue. Yeah.
This is amazing. This is all while you preside over the Uyinene Foundation, while you still keeping your 9 to 5, while you keeping your private practice, while you doing the Slyso TV podcast. Wow.
It gets formed against us. Bafazi, ninga give up. Make sure.
Girls,
Yeah,
girls,
yeah, yeah,
girls.
yeah.
Nani machense, I'm a napkin tour.
Yes, please. Otherwise, how have you been, Slyso? I know we've all been recuperating, but busy behind the scenes. What have you been up to?
Ooh, it's been crazy. I thought I was going to take time out to go to the Eastern Cape, just for a short sabbatical. But I realized that actually in the past year I beat more than I could chew. In fact, at the beginning of this year, in terms of my plans, and one of the things that had been failing as far as I'm concerned, where with regards to the podcast, is that look at us. Tungathi sizinkomo like brown and stuff, and you wearing some other stuff in Ngayazi. So I was like, marketing, marketing, marketing. Let's put this brand on the map.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's part of what I've been doing, as well as messing around with AI. I know that people do these short videos and all of that, but if you want to
yeah.
get into AI as a business, you really need to delve into it. You need to do your research. So all I can say is that we've been away because we've been planning some amazing ish, if I may say, when we launch the first episode of season 3, which is going to be coming up very soon. So it's been that and a whole lot of other blessings,
Yeah.
which we will not divulge to protect the innocent.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, there's also been that beautiful journey or part in my life. So adjustments and everything else. But here we are right now, and I had a chat with the Billy. Billy is still busy. 120 kids or something that he's busy with. And I had lunch, I
Billy
had
is
breakfast
like
with him the
he's
other day.
living his best life as a lecturer. It's just
As
like,
a lecturer, but the other thing about him, I scolded him about it. Like the one moment, I was hanging out with him the next weekend, is like, yeah, I'm in Tanzania, bro. I'm like, what?
yes, yes,
You know these things, yeah. But it's all blessings. It's all
yeah.
stuff that we appreciate. But getting down to business, Queen,
Let's go, let's
you have
go.
an
What?
interesting one today. We are
Yeah,
talking dollarization, standardization.
yeah,
It is a very important month. It's Africa Month. It's
yes,
Youth Month.
yes,
As far as health is concerned, that's what you are going to be sharing with us today. So I can't wait for us to get to that
yeah,
segment of the show, the
yeah.
Momo. First up, I'm just going to breeze through these stories because there's just been so much, Queen.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's just been so much, and oh, go ubambongezanza. If you ever hear, you will remember. Um, today, today, there's Mr. Joe Farari over here, right? Taxi boss. Started driving at the age of 18. He was part of forming, the long distance taxi association staff, a businessman. He had been linked to a lot of criminality, alleged. And he came out at some point, and people saying that no, the guy has turned a new page. He's a businessman, and he also says, no, I'm old now to be caught up in such things. But there's this one story, say extortion of up to about 2 million that they held him to court for. And very interesting. It's like shit you hear and see in movies. So
Yeah.
Mchuchisi decides that he's not going to um, 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 be in court today. So the case was struck off the court roll. There's nothing they can do because the person who's supposed to lead these proceedings just didn't show up at 9 o'clock. And there were follow-ups. He was checked up on in the morning, saying, yeah, I'm just buried in paperwork. I'm coming. Up until about 1 o'clock, he was a no-show. And
No.
they had to strike this off the roll. And apparently, obviously, they're going to take it up with the relevant bodies as far as he is concerned. But anyone who's interested in that story, here it is here at the bottom while we discuss it. Now, this is what Umthetho Wethu has deteriorated to.
That is concerning. That is just concerning. Because what does that mean about our judiciary? You understand? Like, if kuzawuvele judging azufika.
Yeah,
Who
guys,
are they
decide
accountable to? Are they not accountable? Like, is it a thing? Can they just decide, okay, no show, therefore nothing we can do? Is that even allowed though?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, there's nothing. I mean, like, Abacholwa are there. The defending lawyer, who was a former head, by the way, of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Sean Abrams, who represented Joe Farari. And apparently in court, he was huffing and puffing about time being wasted. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. They said that taxi boss Joe Farari Sibanyoni extortion case was struck off the court roll. The bail application for the kingpin took a turn on Monday, today, earlier on, when the case was struck off the roll. Sibanyoni and 3 others were arrested last week on charges of extortion. On Monday, tensions flared in the Kwaggafontein Magistrates Court with Sibanyoni's lawyer, as I had said, the former National Director of Public Prosecutions, that is Sean Abrams, highly agitated following proceedings, delaying. So it was Sibanyoni, Bafana Sindane, Vimbi Daniel Masilela, and Philemon Caesar faced charges of money laundering and extortion. It is alleged that the group extorted more than 2 million rand, right? In protection fees from a mining businessman. This was between 2022 and 2025. So those were the charges, even though people are saying that like he's been responsible for more, but I guess they couldn't prove it. So they got him on this one. So that was it. And they was like, okay, thank you guys. Bye. It was nice. Because a person just didn't show up to work. And now you are going to be asking yourself, was he not threatened? It's either his life was threatened or he was just paid off. You know?
No, but there must be an explanation. There must be an explanation that is publicly made here, so that the public knows what exactly happened. Especially if a person is still alive, so I would like to believe that they are accountable, right? As an employee, they should account for the no-show. What was that about?
Yeah, no. But what it's sending as far as Umthetho to South Africa is very grim. It's very sad. You know, the fact that there's a cleanup by Madlanga Commission, and right in the middle of it, there is commission of crime. I think these guys, like, they are brazen.
Yeah.
They are brazen, because you start from this particular one to go to Abo Brown Mokhotsi, whom we are talking about right now, who's next upon on our thingy, who appeared. I don't know, man. Like, fuck this guy. Man.
Yo, this guy, honestly, some people just don't take Umthetho seriously. They don't take, people seriously. They don't take themselves seriously. Because really, I just cannot understand.
Just like how blatant he is. It was funny when he accuses the evidence leader in the Madlanga Commission, Mr. Chakalson. I don't know. Hold on. Charles Carlson. Now I got it right.
Something, Chuck Norris or whatever.
It's like, hey, it's not my mother tongue. That's what Brown Mokotse, remember when he first started off, he was a guy who actually was struggling to speak English and got to a point where he was even a Kreshane interpreter. It was like a buzumboz, it's like, interpreter.
What was said? What did he say?
No, during all his proceedings, because he came in as this smart guy who has information and blah, but you know the Madlanga Commission, they're going to break you down piece by piece. So at some point, he was able to communicate, but when things got tougher, he said he needed an interpreter. He was given an interpreter, but he was hearing what is being said, but still asking, hey, interpreter, interpret.
You know,
I don't know whether. But the latest, and if you remember, we ran with this story when there was the attempted assassination on his life, and then there was an old lady that came out and said, "I man, I saw a guy get out of the car and shooting his own car, you know, like blah blah blah. I ran for my life. I left my shoe. You know." So, in all the charges that are put to Brown Mokotsi, that is one of them. The fact that he had a fake assassination that he did, and what's even worse about it, like I don't know, like criminals are it dumb. I need bro. Gee, read this story right here, people. So it turns out he's got like now 5 charges, and among them it is for this firearm that is linked to a murder that happened in El Dorado Park. It is linked to a murder, and there were 2 attempted murders. That when they found this gun and they sent it for ballistics, Brown Mokotsi, it turns out in Dokbana, like with ballistics, it actually has committed crimes, including murder. So can you imagine from something that stupid to now be sitting with an attempted murder and a murder charge? Because obviously those are going to be added, whether he likes it or not.
Yes, because it is his firearm. He must be accountable for it. Like he must account. Yes,
all right.
what's happening? Yeah.
Yeah, this was him even in court. This is a short video. Who got a smoke? A bit of smile.
What's your response to being arrested?
Just look at how he talks to his lawyer. You need to get me out.
Make sure I don't go to jail.
Chief, do your thing, Chief. Do your thing, Chief. I can't go down. He's a character and a half, and apparently even his handlers, there was one co-handler that is known, but like all the other people have passed on, so he doesn't have alibis for this thing that he is an agent. And the only thing that's being said about him is that, like, dude, you were an informer, so you had somebody that you were reporting to, you know, you were a double agent of some sort. So I just think for his life, because now, if he's outside with the names that he's given out, he's in danger. He's probably not even safe inside as well. So before you commit a crime, guys, like, think about it. Think about your life, you know, and all of these things. Like, this guy is still smiling. It's all fun and games up until you know, a sentence is handed down. Queen, we're breathing, we're running through. Here's another one, very interesting. Matlala offers to 10 state witness in the 228 million South African police service corruption scandal. Yep.
Oh, that means he must sing now. He must actually bring all the files.
Yeah, the meow is meowing now. The cat is gonna meow now. He's gonna meow now.
Oh no, people are not gonna be happy with him. But well, if I guess at this point in time, also class should be like, you know, every man for himself, and
Every man
do
for
whatever they
himself.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So as far as this is concerned, I'm just going to read a little bit of it. They say that Matala offers to turn state witness in the 228 million SAPS corruption scandal. The investigative directorate against corruption, IDEC, has not commented on claims that the alleged crime mastermind Vusimuzi Ket Matlala offered to give information to law enforcement in exchange for leniency in his corruption case. So he's hoping that, remember, he's in there in part, for the attempted murder of the ex-girlfriend,
Yes.
not ex-wife, yeah, for the ex-girlfriend. So it has come to the fore that he is speaking to authorities, and the only time you're going to speak apparently to IDEC is when you have something to offer and you want something in return. So there's a bit of bargaining that is going on there. So people have been asked, and analysts, in terms of like, who do we think, because he says that this is an exchange for certain names that are part of this criminal thing that they've been up to. So it's going to be a very interesting one as well. I know for a fact, and I think even the analyst as well said that Peggy Clell is one of those people, and he's already admitted that he's already given him, $500,000 on 2 occasions. Yeah, so there are a lot more. He says it's politicians. So he mentions that
I was going to say
politicians.
it must not be just SAPS. It must also be politicians that are linked there, right? That he's going to probably.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure they probably would not have taken it if it did not involve politicians. Yeah, so that is as far as that one is concerned. Before we end off, my gosh, with all the stuff that has to do with Itrong on a court and all of this other stuff, there is my guy over here. This guy.
What was going on here? I was very confused, to be quite honest, with what's going on with Adams. What's going on here?
Fadil. I guess that's why it is in court. It is not clear what it is that he is in pursuit of, because he's been following the story that has to do with Usindi Somagaqa for a very long while, including another guy who was involved in another crime. So what he did, he said he's going to do some oversight visits to a prison, and he wants to talk to the guy who's convicted for the killing of Usindi Somagaqa. So he did this without informing Parliament, because he claims that he's doing it for the portfolio committee on crime. That's where he's at. So he went to Durban, got to Durban. He talked his way into getting blue lights, because it was proven that he was not an official thing. In fact, that's the argument in court.
He was not on duty.
He was not on duty. So he got blue lights from the Durban Metro. Even the guy who actually afforded him the blue lights, or who okayed the blue lights, is now in deep ish as well, before allowing him. Went to the prison. Not only was he not warned that he is not allowed to go in with a cell phone, he's not allowed to take pictures, he's not allowed to do all of these things that you are not allowed to do in prison. But apparently, even there, he spoke his way, he wormed his way through. No, this is for important work. I need to have my phone, blah, blah, blah. And they took these videos. Not only did he not take these videos, he posted them on social media platforms.
No.
So, the larger conspiracy theory stuff is that he's doing it because they are discrediting or planning to discredit Konazi, the PKTT, together with the other guy, Khan, who just got arrested with the head of the Hawks just last week. So it's been crazy arrests of high-profile people within the police system in South Africa. So it's still not clear why he did it, why he did all of that. But very interesting, his arrogance got the better of him, obviously, because I remember when he was being arrested and they were saying like, I'm due for a holiday anyway. Yakhumbula ngoba bemfake evenini.
Yes.
Bruno was like, I'm due for a holiday anyway. I've been in prison, so it's nothing new and stuff. The very same guy was crying in court.
Yes.
Missing his family and all of that stuff. And even then, he comes out and he still hurls threats, saying that he just wants to get to his family now. At the end of it, come Monday was today, and I haven't picked up anything while I was compiling our stories for this evening that he has said, because he said that the gloves are going to come off. He just needed the 2 days to be with his family. So I don't know what he has in store for whoever. So that is a deal. Like all the stuff that happened in courts, and this is not even the half. We still have the Pala issue where the president came out and said to you South Africans, accept this.
My fellow South Africans, while there have been calls in some circles that I should resign, nothing in the Constitutional Court judgment compels me to resign my office. The Constitutional Court made no finding of any kind regarding my alleged conduct. The court made no finding on whether there was prima facie evidence of misconduct, nor if the alleged conduct, if established, justifies impeachment, and that the Constitutional Court judgment reinforces the principles, the rights and processes underpinning our constitutional order. This explicitly includes the right to take the report of the independent panel on review. I therefore respectfully want to make it clear that I will not resign.
So that's him in a nutshell. We're not going to listen to all that fancy English. But yeah, that's what he's saying, and he's taken the judgment to review. This is after it was said in the like impeachment unlawful land African National Congress the last time, bullying Parliament, into bearing this whole thing. It has come out. So people like Abanda Wapanano, former public protector, Busisiwa Mkhwebana, have come out saying that like they've been exonerated, with this. As far as this issue is concerned. So that's just very interesting stuff in South Africa going on, man. Like, so there's that with Pala, but one of the main things about it is that like now, he's opened up himself for scrutiny because now South Africans are going to demand to know what happened, and he actually needs to say that. And very interesting as well, the man who is behind all of this, who went and opened a case, says that he was offered 50 million and any job that he wants in government. I'm sure you saw that story in an exclusive interview on Sowetan. So it's a very interesting stuff that is going on in South Africa as far as Pala is concerned. So at least now, at least we know that he has to say something. And, Fikile Mbalula has come out defending him, and has also come out and defended that if you buy a sheep for 2,000 and then I keep the 2,000 and then somebody comes in the afternoon and they're looking for coats and I sell some coats and then I keep this man. This is Mr. Gwede Mandashe saying that if President Aganajala, so he's a farmer himself, so he does, so he makes this stupid example, yendokbana, namdi ngumfarmer, so kufika umuntu azothengisa kusasa, azothenga igusha kusasa, kufika omnye. Like, how? What about like the banking system regulations that have been flaunted? You can't keep a certain amount of money. Because the
And
United States of America can come.
This was not friends. Remember, this was also the issue around currency and declaration and all of that. So it's more than just somebody comes into your business. You sell them. It's a legal transaction. Also, keeping the money. There was also the issue that why not actually the money not being declared and
not declared, not being banked.
yeah.
It's foreign currency. The United States of America can go after you for keeping. I think it's like 50,000. There's a threshold in terms of American US dollars that you can have in your possession outside the United States of America. He has violated that, so which means that anyone from the crazy one administration, they could come after him and say that like this is American currency. The buffaloes were not fetched. A whole lot of ish. And they tortured people. They did not report this to the South African Police Service. But yeah, you know how the story goes. So we're just gonna have to wait and hear and see what happens. I've got like somebody here, Slyso and Mangaliso, Chris Andile. There he is at the bottom. Thank you so much for joining us, my brother.
Yes, for our Facebook friends.
Yeah, man. You can send your shout out as well. Tell us where you are watching us from and on which platform as well, because we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook as well. So yeah, and also if you have an opinion, please by all means share people. There's just a lot going on, Queen. Oh my gosh, time is gonna run. Oh, okay.
You see, this is where I miss Sisisi. This is when it comes to you. This is where I miss Sisisi, because Sisisi would have said, "But no. We can't do all of the current affairs stories. Let's move.
No, still. No,
and by the way, he would have come guns blazing, a defender.
Defending who. I think, Queen, the rest of it really will just leave. Who else? Let me just check this one out. There's also someone else watching a Motherwell, Ulaz. For actually supporting us. We've got some stuff that we might be affording to people, but we're not talking just yet. It is a secret. It is a secret.
Please
so
if you get very soon, because season 3 I must be rocking some branded merch, looking all.
Your package is on the way, Queen. It's coming. It's coming. Guys, we're trying to breeze through these stories, really. There is just so much. And I think we're not even going to do all of them for that matter. We've gone through the main ones. There's also the issue with the Nigerian government and telling South Africans that they are xenophobic. They're sending a delegation through, 130 of them. I think they volunteered and they said they want to go back to Nigeria from South Africa. And there have also been accusations that people are being murdered. People posting old and fake videos. The reports so far, there have only been two Nigerians that have passed on since these have started, and both those people passed on in the hands of the police. I think one Nigerian guy through the SANDF as well in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Probably doing some crimes, because we know that if they die in the hands of the police, they were involved in some illegal stuff going on. So.
Exactly, with the level of arrogance as well. I'm not like, listen, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. And I think the one thing that pisses me off about every other Nigerian post regarding this are people telling South Africa that nobody wants to take responsibility. There are 2 or 3 videos where there were Nigerians that actually were talking down and actually saying that us Nigerians, we need to do better, because every country that you go to, we are always in jails because we take laws of other countries for granted. We sell drugs, we run brothels, we do human trafficking and all of this stuff. And up until to date, we're still seeing videos that are new to other people of the extent of Nigerians who are arrested for committing crimes. Even with the crackdown going on, there was a guy who had an entire bin in Durban, like walking thingy with it, and he was caught, and with a large amount of drugs. So this whole thing that South Africans are xenophobic, it is nonsense. It's been dispelled the world over by everybody. But one thing I want to say in this, because I mean, like, it's been ventilated a lot, is that South Africa, or South Africans, Dudula, March and March, they have actually gotten the government of South Africa to act, because you're now starting to see crackdowns. Even Dada Morero here in Gauteng, going to close small street, everywhere else now you look, ANC people are all of a sudden coming out, we need to do these things. And we thank we have to thank March and March. We have to thank Dudula. We have to thank other civic organizations. We have to thank the ATM. We have to thank Action SA and all these other political parties that joined in to say that we are going to be peaceful. All that we want is illegal people to be out of South Africa.
And then, we actually find out, because there's also the wrong interpretation of the law, we actually get to find out also that there are laws that actually prohibit illegal people from trading, so those things also that were not being addressed. Then you ask yourself, why was the government sitting and allowing this to happen in the first place?
In the first place,
because we are in this mess, because there was also complacency in just enforcing the laws and not being timid about it. People breaking the law, whether they don't need to be committing crimes such as murdering people, or trafficking, human trafficking. But if there is a law that says these South Africans that should have this spaza shop, then why do you allow these people to then take over entire, cities and dominate, And we are sitting in a country that has a high rate of unemployment. So you really cannot blame South Africans for standing up, because it is that time where South Africans are also now waking up and wanting to look into entrepreneurship as an option, right? Because there are no jobs.
Yeah, it's a crazy one, and I think I have so many different parting shots for this particular one, but I have to say once again, thank you to those movements, for actually doing that. Oh, Sis Nasipi, here the mayor has been doing that, taking down, because there's another thing that, like, it's just black against black. She closed an array of brothels and unlicensed businesses that are owned by Chinese. There was a Chinese cartel that was operating in Pretoria. She took those down, and then other people now got into it, and that's what that is basically what South Africans want. They want to see their government acting, and which tells you that it's going to be very interesting when it gets to November, because I think whoever responds to this is definitely going to win the hearts of the people, because that's what South Africans want, and that's what, unfortunately, the government doesn't do. It is to listen to South Africans. Oh, voyom no corner. The Slyso until now, and the Lapi Motherwell, and you 10. Cheers, hola mama, another one. Then go Lentika Sira. Thank you so much for joining us, brothers. But I think it's time for us now to head over to a feature that we've been missing and we haven't had. Hey, look at other people. Mine doesn't. Guys, let's check out this very interesting feature that's coming up called the Mama.
Give up on your dreams, don't give up on yourself. It can also be a developmental crisis issue. Keep pushing and stay the course. Bum, 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 bum. Hi everybody. Hey, didn't kumbula too much. And you know me, always bringing in that spin of mental health in the conversation. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're talking all things mental health. There's a lot of things, and even the issues that we were highlighting just now with the Slyso, the current affairs, they also contribute to mental health related issues, because the crime, rate of crime puts pressure on people's mental health. Right? We know that there are psychological effects to that. So mental health is actually, it runs through everything that we do, right? But today I wanted to focus on, and this was triggered by a trending story that was going on about Facebook and everywhere around infidelity. I'm not going to talk exactly about that story, but I want to just highlight how affairs in marriage or infidelity in marriage can actually have a negative impact on somebody's mental health, right? So that we have a clear understanding of also the behavior, because there was a lot of shaming that was happening with the guy that that brought indaba yakhe online, and people criticize him. How can you air your problems out and all of that? So I hope this is going to help. Just to clarify. So I want to talk about the effects of infidelity, right? That is, people that are married, who end up having affairs, and how that impacts the mental health of either partner or either spouse, right? And really, this talk is not about, it's not a moral discussion about whether, is it right, is it wrong? I'm not there. You can go to church for that, for that aspect. I want to talk about the fact that there is an understanding when you step into marriage, right, that the both of us agree that we are going to share, everything. We are going to be open and honest with each other. We are going to always communicate, right? So there is an expectation that I must know what's happening with my wife. I must know what's happening with my husband. When an affair happens, or when a partner has, a situation where they tap out of their marriage, right? There's that infidelity happening. Once this is uncovered, the other spouse now, whoever actually finds out, obviously is going to now be affected, because the finding out now imfakela pressure, because unendo eti, I've been betrayed, okay? Because I thought we were on the same page, and I'm finding out that we are not, right? And this can trigger a person, and it triggers a lot of emotions. One being shame. Shame is a very difficult emotion that people don't know how to regulate it, don't know how to express it, don't know how to deal with. It triggers this betrayal, right? That I've been made a fool. I thought we are, doing this. This is where we're going. All along, there is another life that is happening that I'm not part of. So this affair can actually be catastrophic, right? From a mental health perspective, it can actually put a person under a lot of pressure. So that's why let's take the example of the male who found out that the wife had tapped out of their marriage. He became so overwhelmed, and triggered that he could not think clearly. At that point in time, he was in pain, a bit under, he was experiencing emotional pain. He didn't know how to, deal with this. Because he was trying to deal with this in the best way that he could. He takes this information, he puts it in a public space because he is in pain, he's hurting, right? He's never been in this situation before, we can assume. He doesn't know how to handle this situation. He is shocked, okay? Didn't expect it, okay? He feels sidelined. He feels humiliated, because also it's humiliating to find out something that you thought will never happen, you know, in your dynamic or in your relationship happening, right? He feels a bit of shame. So what he's doing is, when he speaks about this thing is publicly, it's not to hurt the other parties, but it is a way of trying to relieve himself of this pain, you know, this pain that he's feeling. Now, this is very, very, very important for people to understand that it can be a very traumatic experience, you know, to find out that you are living with a person, and we're talking about marriage here, you are living with a person who is living another life with someone else, right? This can be very traumatic. So iyayenza laa nto bana imenze umntu azibone eminxekile. When we say umntu is overwhelmed, kukuminxeka emphefumlweni, you know, azive under uxinzelo, engakwazi ukubana amelane, you know, nale esisiganeko sehlayo, because it is something that he didn't expect, or he didn't think that it would happen to his marriage or to him, right? So iyayenza ke into okokubana itriggerishe abantu in such a way that they end up acting ngendlela engaqhelekanga, or in an abnormal way. So umntu xa found out that the other partner was cheating, or their spouse was cheating, they can actually, you know, have rage, you know, end up being violent, you know, or end up just, you know, wanting to just throw away everything without thinking. So a lot of this behavior that we see, Tina, is actually communicating into lo mntu uhlukumezekile, lo mntu uqhelekile emoyeni, emphefumlweni, you know, this thing has actually triggered a lot of their own emotions, but also lo mntu is in pain. Okay, so it's very important that as people that are around this person, especially law who find out, you know, that we don't judge a person because obviously this person is shocked, this person, you know, is in disbelief, you know, and this person is trying to make sense of this thing. Hence, in city, it's traumatic, you know. Indlela ozoreacta ngayo, you know, in a situation that is life-threatening, because remember, umtado is forever, mosandithi kuthiwa with city I do, and
till death,
and in health till death to us apart. So xa kukho into eyenzekayo that is threatening umtado, literally that is the livelihood, our life is under threat here, and there's many dynamics that are threatened. Finances, right, are threatened. Oh my goodness, what does this mean for me financially? Right? We could be in trouble because of the situation. Health-wise, you know, have I been safe? Because I thought this person was here. You know, perhaps this person has been exposing me. So you see, there's a lot of life-threatening, you know, dynamics that come into play, which makes a person to have that panic state. It's the panic state esenza umuntu abhale, you know, kwi-socials about into eyenzekileyo, isiganeko esenzekileyo, you know, and we can't then focus on that and judge a person who has found out. You know, what we need to be doing is to, especially as families and friends, is to hold the person who has stepped out of the marriage accountable, you know, and it's also to provide a safe space for this person who is in pain to say, they must find expression, but they must express it, you know, in a contained manner. You know, it's a cry out for help when someone comes into social media and talks about their painful experience, and we know they just recently found out, it means Lamdu is at risk, Slyso, of actually committing suicide, because we don't know what this means for them, you know, and how much painful is for them. So that person is actually at a high risk. It means this person can also commit GBV, because we know that, you know, when there is infidelity, when there's cheating in a marriage, GBV tends to also happen, you know, either between the couple or involving the other party. So it is an incident, or it is something that is threatening people's mental state, and we need to not just look at it as see pressure off just like that. And of course, we are not going to tap into the dynamics of the marriage, what is happening in the marriage, and try to act like we know what's happening in people's relationships. No. But what I'm saying is that it's high time that we understand that there is the trauma that is going to be happening when this has happened, and there is going to be this catastrophic behaviors, or this abnormal behavior that we're going to see, because emotional pain, when it comes all at once, it can be very difficult to actually contain it, right? That's why you find people can go acting out ngendlela engaqhelekanga okanye ngendlela esinothi ibingekho right indlela addressing ngayo, because that person at that particular point in time under uxinzelo, was overwhelmed, eminxekile, and ubefuna relief, ubefuna some kind of relief, and it's very important that immediately when a situation has come about, that families quickly attend to it and assist couples to actually manage the situation and contain the situation, so that it doesn't get to be on social media and have voices abantu who have no idea what's going on, who are going to put extra pressure, or who are actually going to put more shame on other people, because it can push another person to another space that we don't want to, as far as their mental health is concerned. So the seriousness of it is that people will be affected, and nalo uyenzileyo ke unfortunately will also be affected. That's the thing about our actions sometimes also come back to bite us, right? That person naye is going to be compromised as far as their mental health is concerned, because ngoku life is turned upside down, and we don't know, what the consequences are going to be. And unfortunately, that person, is going to have to wait and see, and this could be catastrophic for the entire family, but also the families that are also involved, it is a very serious thing. And I think what I'm trying to say, Slyso, is that we need people to show a bit of sympathy, because I heard a lot of people talking and trying to blame the other party that brought the issue on Facebook and try to shame this person. And I thought to myself, but when you are faced with a situation that is triggering, you really cannot predict how you're going to react, and sometimes that reaction is going to surprise even yourself. And I know that this person might be, now after they've calmed down and they're trying to figure things out and make sense of things, they might be regretting, putting this thing on blast. But it tells you, it just shows you how serious it is, because it does actually trigger, a person mentally, and it is a traumatic incident. And when we are traumatized, we act out of character. We act out of character, and we don't think clearly, especially if into infidelity, people don't talk immediately with friends or family, because there's this shame about it. So up and is spiraling, hence abanye abantu end up becomes an alcoholic, because unento imtyayo, because it is something that actually impacts a person's mental state. So we cannot run away from the fact that it does have negative effects, and in Kukabandwana as well, we know that, there's going to be the other consequences to now deal with, now questions of, even the identity, and all of that. So it then becomes a very disruptive thing to deal with, and I want us to acknowledge it for what it is, that it does threaten a person's mental health, and we need to encourage people to get help, when they are going through this. Immediately when you find out that something is happening in your relationship, what I would advise you is to immediately connect yourself to a mental health professional, a psychologist, a person that is trained that's going to help you to just navigate. And ube space is a safe way you are going to vent out, your anger, your frustrations, all the emotions that are coming, but also a space where you are going to make sense of what is happening here, before you can get to a decision making, right? To protect your mental health, it's very important that you get actually support and speak about it. There is definitely no shame. This is something that is experienced by a lot of people, and I want people to actually, especially abantu abangobhuti, and I want to just highlight that, especially men. I think men sit with a lot of shame when it comes to infidelity, right? And men struggle to also just express the emotions that come with it, or even acknowledge the emotions that come with it. It's very important that you deal with it ngendlela right, so that you are able to make clear decisions. So that's my story today, and I'm sticking with it, and I love that Slyso is sharing with us the mental health calendar. And you will see that yes, we are talking around World Mental Health Awareness and highlighting schizophrenia this month, a lot of mental health disorders. But I wanted to just stick to what happens, when someone experiences infidelity in their relationship, and that it does impact their mental health. And remember, we are in pain, we're psychological pain, right? Izenzo zethu azikho normal. Sometimes we do things out of character because of the psychological pain that we're experiencing, and minxekile, so when you are overwhelmed, hence mental health, because once you are under pressure, under emotional pressure, once uminxeke awukwazi ke ngokucinga kakuhle, ii-decisions zakho zithathayo zingaba zii-decisions ezingekho right, uyabona. Hence I'm saying the first point of call is get into a professional space immediately, so that you can just fix your thinking and get somebody who's going to help you to process, because that's what needs to happen first before there are decisions that are made about then what, is this the end of the marriage? What's going to happen now? There must be the processing of this emotional trauma. Yeah?
As she says, that is my story, and I am sticking to it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And of course, yes, she cannot, obviously just to advertise as well, it's info@slyso.co.za. You might have a brand or an awareness that your business, for that matter, is doing. Yeah. So get in contact with us. We will soon be announcing like a host of other things, including affording you studio space where you can actually come in with your friends or with your team or with your company to record your to record your podcast with us, and we will obviously assist you with a couple of things, including getting an engineer to be there with you, where we say our turnaround will certainly be 2 hours after you've recorded with us. We are able to afford you your content, edited to according to the brief that you afford us. But that's a very important one, Wenatoto, and one thing I'm thinking mostly and around it is the fact that at the end of the day, there's also what people always talk about, social media etiquette. Your interaction with this thing. If you think about it, I mean, like I have over over 50,000 people that follow me. So it's very important for me to be mindful of what I put out there. There have been instances when I first started off, I would just go off and say whatever I feel like saying, but like there's a level of responsibility that comes with it. And sometimes when you are hurt, because we are now a generation that is dependent on devices, so you feel like you've got the 5 friends out of the 50,000 that I have. I feel like I'm talking to those people and I'm expecting their response. But there are people who have ulterior motives. There are people who do not apply themselves. There are people who do not know you well that also want to have their 2 cents worth, whether it is to support you or in most cases, you're going to find kids that are playing with these things just because they've got data. They don't know anything about marriage. They're still going to have an opinion. And all of these things. I think for anyone suffering, not only like, this is one example that Utoto is making, but like there's an array during this mental health, awareness month. Some people get physical, GBV. Some people commit suicide. Some people, do all kinds of things to deal with the, or because they can't deal with the, with the pressure and the issues. It's very important to actually find people like the one that we are talking to right now, which is Toto, that you can actually book with and actually book a session. Sengana Tobega@gmail.com, and there's the number there as well, 073-421-3360. If you want to get in contact, she does have a private practice as well, so she'll be able to deal with you. And I know that it's not just one-on-ones, you also do family, you also, so there are a lot of things. I can't wait for the next step with this brand. I don't want to let too much off. I'm so excited. Like, we've been quiet for a reason. We've been quiet because we are trying to give you, a product worthy and something authentic as well, something that they like, that you can reap from. You watch this podcast, I bet you there is 1 or 2 things that you are going to walk away with. That is what we pride ourselves in. So there are the details, guys. So make sure that you get in contact with the Toto. I think we are way over. Oh my gosh. I need to run. I need to be somewhere, but I did promise, I did put it out there. I'm not going to go through what happened. I'm just going to play these 2 videos. This is a whole thing. Noma B, we no Apo, Lento. Pondweni, and the case of kids that were shot. So we got this, and I have to give credit to the person who gave us, whom we took this content from. By the way, if you're a content creator, that is what you're supposed to do. If you're getting content from somebody else, you need to credit those people. Don't just use it, okay? This one comes from this lady over here, but this is what happened according to people that were also in court around this story as well. Let's just listen to what happened.
Umntana uphume ngolwesihlanu esiyodlala nabanye abantwana badibene ke nabantwana bingabantwana bayi-4 lo wethu nabanye abapha eriyeni baphuma bahamba beyodlala bathi ke baye bahamba beyokha amagwava ofishi kwalaa hlathi ke bafikelele phaa kwalaa hlathi bathe basekha amagwava baphuma ke ubhuti lo unguman B ngapha kweyadi lakhe vele uba heyi nenza ntoni apho babaleka abantwana lihlathi mose lizawuphumela endleleni. Usithathe imoto lobhuti wajikela wazobafumana apha kule ndawo bazophumela kuba bephuma le endleleni. Ephumela kwabo endleleni umisile imoto, abanye babaleka bambambile umntana. Ngokusho kwalo mntana ebamba naye nankuya ukhona nangoku bambambile umntana umdubule in a close range because umdubule ewe phansi. Thoga beziyi-2 so babaleka abantwana abamfumeneyo ngowesibini bambamba lo mntana wesibini bamba naye baya naye eyadini kamen B bambetha bamenza push up sogqiba bathi makakhwele emotweni yobalathisa kulaa makhaya abantwana ofishe bo bayi-4 ke ngoku ebesehambe solatha lo ke ngoku isomkalisilungile bambethileyo ehambe solatha sesibhedlele usilungile i-condition yakhe ibucayi kakhulu because bathi oogqirha imbumbulu ingene emathumbini khona amathumbu agqabhukileyo so bazawapesha bazawuzama uwapesha yi-infection anayo bazama uklina i-infection ngokwazi ukufaka
Slyso.
Yeah. There we go again. Now we're just gonna go through because Thulisile also spoke to the mother of the child as well that is in the hospital. Let's just quickly listen to that before we close off the episode.
Very critical condition ICU akathethulele usezakwenza ii-operations ezininzi une-holes ezininzi apha emathumbeni kuye so imbi kakhulu imeko yakhe ndiziva kabuhlungu ndiphukile andikwazi ulala ebusuku intliziyo yam sibe ngathi izawuphuma khange ndiqonde into ezabancinci yokhaka amagwaba izawubeka umntanam ibhedi yesibhedlele elwela ubomi bakhe kubuhlungu kakhulu andiyazi ngumntu onjani uzawudubula umntana angathethi adubula umntana nje sesendleleni ke ngoku amdubula umntana aphinde amshiye nangokuselela phantsi uthe umntanam because ndifike yena esathetha ngoku ndiyothathwa ngamapolisa esetroma ndifike esetroma ethetha uthi mama undidubule sizihamba endleleni basileqele kulaa mthi wamagwava sabhana very heartbroken. I don't know ndiyazi ndawubendiphilishe njani na khona umzali onodubula yi-16-year-old uthini babi ngumntana akhe nibe nothini uyaphinda ke ukuthi makayolathiswa ekhayeni lo mntana laa mntana omolathisa apho ahlala khona umntana asilali kamnandi asiyazi because uzokwenzeka ntoni because uyayazi apho sihlala khona.
Well, I think I'll just stop it there for the remainder of that video so that you can actually go to Thulisile Mapongwane and go check out the video, and so that we don't take too much credit. You can get the rest of it on social media platforms. Yeah, that is it, Toto. Jeebus. The only thing we really didn't get to speak about is the Zakes Bantwini Foundation, which was launched here in a couple of about 2 days ago, which is like commendable. And there's a friend of mine, Udums, I think her story is in the Daily Dispatch. She's been doing this for the longest time ever. Every birthday of hers, she goes to where she was born and she interacts and spends the day with kids. And at least after all of these years that I've known and she's been doing it, that is good to see the credit being given in the form of the Daily Dispatch as far as that one is concerned. Yeah, and I think just to end it off, I wanted, we don't have time. I'm just going to take very few moments to tell you, South African, how important it is for you to make sure that you register to vote in the coming elections, which are on the 4th of November. We've been complaining about A, we've been complaining about C, we've been complaining about these things. And what I want to say to you, the only way that you can make sure that people do not steal your tax money, people do not enrich themselves, because you can hear these monies run into billions. How much can a billion do, throughout South Africa, So it becomes very important. The only way you can get the people that chow your tax away from it is by making sure that you go vote and you say no more. Give somebody else a chance. If you've been suffering for all of this time, no councillor wenu, no banban wenu, do away with them. try abanye abantu abatsha, but you can only do this kakuhle by a vote yakho. Yeah, so that's all I want to say.
Okay, being given, we are being given a talking to here, but look, hey, if you want something
go
to
vote,
change, no complaining, and I think Slyso is very important for people that don't vote. There are people that believe it doesn't make any difference. It does, because when you don't vote, automatically your vote goes to the party that you don't want to get the votes, right? So yeah, so it's also sitting and not doing anything. It doesn't really then assist. So rather go and vote. No vote is better if you don't want to make, just go and give your vote to someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not going to come back, guys, and complain again, for the next few years that this is not happening there and that is not happening. We see the state that we are in as South Africa, and we actually need to realize and learn when these decisions are taken, when these rulings are made in courts of how to deal with democracy, which we are lucky to still have, as compromises it has proven to be in certain instances, but to an extent, democracy and the law is upheld in certain areas of our society. So by all means, make sure that you do support. I mean, like with the foreigners and stuff. Like one of the things that I was saying was to Schreiber, the Minister of Home Affairs. It's not enough that you tell us over 200 people have been dismissed or are being disciplined. There should be criminal charges, like Sisisi umzekelo, Sisisi mazixuthwa imoto, whatever, and still be charged criminally for taking half your salary, which is our tax money, and giving it to her daughter, according to reports. So it's not enough for the president to come and tell us, no, I've let the minister go. You've let them go, and then what? Because we've seen in the
there's no consequences just letting a person.
There are no consequences. Malosi Gigaba, with all the accusations, still going to court, is he's involved with the military in South Africa. Mkhize is involved with disciplining Omaspala, the very same person who was found wanting when it comes to the COVID, vibes things. Like, you're taking us for granted. But anyway, we don't want to end on a sour note. It's been a beautiful episode. Queen, thank you so much. What's up with you? What's up? I know it's gym. I've also gone back to cycling. Oh my gosh, I hope I can keep it up.
Kunzima ewinter, kunzima ujima ewinter, but we are strong. We are not gonna give up, ne? Because summer is around the corner and we must not allow it. So but keep warm, take care of yourself, as a immune boosters, make sure that you are, boosting your immune system, and just you don't get sick, because it is a season of, flu, but also, resting, making sure that, you do take your leave, you do take some time to spend with your family. I'm just excited about this new revamp that's going to happen here. Guys, Facebook, I miss you, my Facebook people, man. Just talk to us, tell us, engage with us what you think about the episode, and what you want us to talk about. Very, very important to hear your feedback. All excited.
I'm just gonna slide this through. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna
no more just white.
Please. We'll want uniformity. So as we start next season, it's going to be very interesting. It is winter. Your soup, your everything is going to go in here. They will be available. So by the way, do check out my website in the next week. We will put up some of the samples of the stuff that we have. I'm not even going to say. You just saw this one, so there's more coming. Queen, thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful week until we do it again. I can't. Guys, bye-bye.
You're too aggressive. You see, no. must be soft. The next time.
Nothing happens. Thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you so much, guys. Please do like, do share, do follow us on TikTok. We want to go live on TikTok, but we need a lot more of you to like us so that we are able to do that and be available on all platforms live where you can comment as well. Thank you so much, South Africa. Have a beautiful evening.
Have a beautiful evening.